Welcome to eSeniors, FRANCORCHAMPS. Actually, Jeremy is much better to say that than I am. So
I like that. I like the way you said that, Christopher.
I was really trying.
That was awesome. Can you say it again, please?
FRANCORCHAMPS.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's me and Jonathan. Welcome, Jonathan, to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, as usual, Jonathan is out in our eSeniors pace car going around the track. We're going to catch him after we have looked a little bit at the standings. So, today we have the 60-minute race with a pit stop in the middle. We have 30-minute qualifying, and we have two groups. We have the platinum and the silver. Silver going to go out first, qualifying for 15 minutes, and then platinum for 15 minutes. And the standings here, platinum, we have Peter Wolfslener, has been unstoppable. As you see, he has 4 wins, unbelievable. And Mr. Chris Moses, he didn't drive last race, and I am unsure if he's going to race today. So he dropped out of the top 3. Johan Larsson is now P2, and Steve Young P3 in the platinum. So Johan has to work hard here he really needs to place P2 here to stay with it. In the silver, we have Randy Zimmer, has been the unstoppable guy until last race. He placed P5. And we had a little shake-up. Peter David did a great race, placed P2. John Messick, P1. Peter David, P1. John Messick, P2. And Risha Colum placed P3. So he pushed down Neil Leader out of the third spot. Neil did a P12 result last race at Watkins Glen. So we have Randy and Lee and Risha Colum. So Randy and Lee are kind of running away with this, but they are just 1 point apart. So that's really where the fight is in the silver group. We want to mention the sponsors. Thank the sponsors. We're going to talk more about sponsors in a little bit. We're going to go around in the pace car, and I'm going to do a little sponsor overview. And as I'm doing that, I need to bring up my notes on the sponsor. So there we go. Let's go over to Jonathan on track in our muscular Mercedes.
It looks very muscular, doesn't it?
But
unfortunately, it just doesn't feel very good, I have to admit. I mean, I'm sure it's a great car, but you just need a lot of practice with these cars to, get the absolutely most out of them. And I got in this car last night, did a few exploratory laps with no setup, and it really was pretty horrible. And I was struggling to get in the 222s, believe it or not. I mean, the Porsche Cup car is almost as fast as that. But I'm now kind of shaving it down to the 220s. I got into 219 a little bit ago, but I talk about the history of this track. There's this etched in history. This track is in the middle of the Ardennes forest in Belgium, where the Battle of the Bulge was fought in World War II. Sometimes you go through this forest and you expect to see a tiger tank coming out of the trees. It's really just crazy stuff. Huge amount of history. But anyway, I'm coming to the end of the lap here, so I'll take you through hopefully a moderately fast lap. So we're going to go through the bus stop chicane. This chicane has changed many times over the years. Now it's very, very slow. Come past the pit straight here. These are the Formula One pits on the right-hand side, and the GT3 pits will be after the source. Brake at the 100-meter board here. Try and do a really wide turn in so that you get on the power as early as possible. You've got the GT3 pits on the right-hand side. We're going down this steep hill towards Eau Rouge, where if you have big balls, you can do this flat. So let's see how big my bollocks are. Totally flat. That was awesome. Up over Radion, and now down the Camel Straight. Gives you a little bit of time to look at your tire pressures and anything else that's going on. Once again, braking at the 100-meter board for Les Combes. try and get to the inside here. You know, I'm not crazy about this car because it revs so low. Most of the power is low down in the power band, and I'm used to the BMW and having to rev it like crazy. Anyway, heading down here to this right-hander. I don't remember what this is called now. They've changed the name of it like many, many times. This next left-hander, it's actually called No Name, which is a little bit odd. I've missed the apex. Now, this is Pujon, very, very fast left-hander. This is the test of downforce. If you have too little downforce here, you go straight on. Luckily, I've got just about the right amount, I think. This next right-left sequence, I remember Nigel Mansell and Ayrton Senna colliding here. I think it was in 1987. Up to fourth gear. I've missed another apex. This is going to be a really lousy lap. So this right-hander here, if you've got a really compliant car, you can go through flat. And actually, I did manage to go through that flat. I'm actually pretty surprised. Now, this last section is just flat out. We've got Blanchimont. This is this next corner where you've got to really keep an eye on that inside line. Otherwise, you're going to go straight off. Down back to the bus stop chicane. I'm banging on the anchors. Hey, we actually got the inside there pretty well. And that is a lap of Spa 219.8. Hey, you know, that's not bad. Look, that gets me P15 out of 34 without a whole lot of practice. Whew, I think I need to go and have a pee now.
yeah, do that. That was really, really great. Thanks for doing that, taking us through the this wonderful track that actually it's 102 years old. I see here.
Is it really?
Yeah, wow. It's amazing. So let me just talk about the sponsors. So Castle and Cauldron to the right there, they specialize in handcrafted Harry Potter stuff like medieval cosplay and Halloween decor and party props, kind of magic wands, potions, probably not real potions, but holiday stuff. So you can find them on Facebook. And then in the middle there, we have Syndeo. It's a Canadian-based company, a technology broker, and they specialize in voice, contact center, and cybersecurity solutions for businesses. So they will be advisors to you to help you select the best technology solution for your business. And then we have Sim3D to the left there. They are making cool, really bespoke sim racing stuff, a dashboard, fan shrouds and mounts and elastomer kits. Is that how you say it? Flag boxes, LED eyebrows, whatever that is. Sounds really cool though. Power supply brackets.
I need some LED eyebrows.
Yes, you do. And you need a magnetic shifter, modification, button box, and immersion kit. So that's our sponsors that makes this happen. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah, good stuff. I tell you what, so, you know, trying to drive a fast lap around Spa while commentating is really, really difficult. I was actually pissing myself laughing because I nearly crashed so many times.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was hilarious.
Welcome everyone on the stream. Let us know that you can hear us and see us with the expected outcome and quality that we pride ourselves with here at eSeniors.
Absolutely. And, you know, if you are on a stream, you know, go down to your settings. And if you have the option to do 60 frames a second at 1080p, you know, definitely select it because you're going to have the highest quality. It's going to look fantastic.
We're going to get some lap times down in the 2:16s today. I am sure about that.
Well, Tommy Hellstrom this is pre-qualifying, right? We're just about to start qualifying in a moment. But Tommy Hellstrom, yeah, and that's actually qualifying is just starting now for the big silver guys. But I saw Tommy Hellstrom was a 16.8, I think, and Peter Wolfschleiner was not very far behind. So it's going to be interesting. I think we'll have at least 2 or 3 folks in the 2:16s, and it does seem as though the McLaren has an advantage on the straight by several miles per hour.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see. So Nikos, Thomas, and Stan, welcome to the stream. It's really cool that we get quite a group of people watching. I was afraid that everyone would be driving and no one would be watching the streams. But it doesn't really look like that. We have a lot of people out and on our stream watching. So let me get the tower on.
Who would be good to follow? Maybe a Randy Zimmer.
Let's see where we have Randy. There we have Randy.
The person, actually, the person at the front of the field right now, he got out ahead of everybody else, is number 55, Aaron Shannon, in my most loved AMG Mercedes. It'll be interesting to see what Aaron can actually do in this Merc.
Yeah, let me see. I had him. There he is. Yeah, probably takes another lap for him to be up to speed and temperatures. Yeah, like you said, the Merc is a kind of different animal because it's revving kind of so low. It has this grunt. If you've been driving Porsches and things like that, that kind of just screams and whines. This is a different thing to drive.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like you're going nowhere fast because it revs so low.
Frank Tennant on the stream. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you.
Hey,
Terry's on there too.
Yeah, Terry Trobin, she just wants a trouble-free race. I hear you, mate. I hear you. Well, at Spa, you get you've got a good width of road, good width of track, and you've got lots of really good corners where you can use your racing prowess to get past the guy ahead. There's definitely no shortage of spots to overtake here. So let's watch Aaron Shannon as he goes through Eau Rouge. He's listening to his throttle trace. And yeah, he lifted.
Yeah.
I've got bigger bollocks than Aaron. There it is. So he lifted on the run up to Red Aeon. He's going down the Camel Straight here. Let's see where he brakes. For Les Combes. And he's gone way deep down there into Les Combes. He's lost a lot of time. This next right-hander is you've got to really sacrifice entry for a good exit by getting onto the power early. This next right-hander, if you go a little too deep here, it actually doesn't hurt you because you can kind of make the corner into an oval and get on the power earlier. As he goes into No Name, looking for the apex and hits it, and uses a little bit of curb on the outside. Huhon, this is another one that separates the men from the boys. And it's a double apex, and he tiptoed around that first apex before getting on the power. Now Malmedy, and he's gone way deep. He almost spun. You're going to enjoy watching this later, Aaron, I tell you that. Oh no. Missed another apex. I can just say this is his first flying lap. I think this is going to be in the 2:22s. Comes down towards Blanchimont. Let's see if he makes it flat. Changes up to 6th gear. Yeah, that's easily flat. And braking down into the bus stop. He's gone way too deep and he's invalidated the lap. Yeah. Okay. So it's got time for some more laps.
Yeah, I'm jumping over to Randy Zimmer. 15 minutes. That's not that long because it's a long lap. So
yep.
15 minutes. You have I think you can get like 3 hot laps maybe if you just don't go in and change tires. Fastest lap right now is 2:21 from Brian Banks, but we're going to see faster than that, I am sure.
Yep.
So Randy Zimmer.
Randy will be in the 2:20s, I would assume. 2:20 flat, yep. He'll probably squeak into the 219s. We see from Randy pretty much, well, he's overshot Lasource there, so he's really ruined his lap. What we tend to see from Randy is that lap after lap, he'll go slightly faster and faster and faster. He learns from each lap, but obviously that was commentator's curse right there because he totally fluffed the first corner.
Yeah, Lee Ellis coming after him. See what he's doing. Yeah, Lee Ellis now in provisional P2 for the Silver Group.
Yep, a little bit slower than Randy. But that was just these guys' first lap, so I'm expecting them to speed up a little bit and get into the 219s, maybe in that 219.5, something like that. Peter David isn't far behind either. You know, we saw that amazing race from Peter. Oh, Randy just spun it and smashed into the barrier.
Oh, so he had to go in and start over. Yeah, Peter David up half a second, and so is Lee Ellis.
Yeah, Peter had that amazing race, that last race. I think he surprised himself. He was like, you know, where did I finish kind of thing, you know, because he just did his own race. He raced smartly. He was patient when he had guys in front that he needed to pass. And guess what? He won the silver race, which was bloody brilliant. And I'm expecting something similar from him here, as long as he can avoid any first lap shenanigans, because that's always the problem that we have here at Spa, and that's normally with a field of maybe 20 cars. Here we've got 33, and you know exactly what I mean, Krista. Do you remember that race we had, that night race, where it was like you parted
that was a classic,
the Red Sea? Yeah, it was totally parting the Red Sea, and you went around everyone, and I think you wound up in like second place after Eau Rouge.
Yeah, I got super noisy here in the house. Sorry, you probably hear Timmy now. Someone was on the door.
So Stuart Charles has posted the provisional poll now. He did a 219.4, which is bloody fast. I mean, I know that they changed the performance with that last bop, and the cars are much faster, I believe, in a straight line. So that's why here we're getting like much faster times. But 219.4 is definitely no slouch. That's a good time. Yeah, Craig, I remember. Yeah, you won that race, and I believe I was second, and Krista was third. And I remember chasing down Krista in the last few laps, and we had like a really amazing race. That was like terrific. But you remember, it was completely carnage on the on the run down and through Eau Rouge. There were just cars spinning and crashing all over the place. It wasn't eSeniors' finest moment, but it did create a mixed race after it, and it was a lot of fun to race in and to watch later for sure.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember I did this little video where I introduced some fire, some burning graphic on the cars. I was trying to find that, but I don't know where I put it. All right, let's see here. So Stuart Charles, yeah. I mean, we looked at him in previous races. He placed P7 the last two races, but he's really fast here today in qualifying.
He is very fast, and Lee Ellis has improved again. He did a 219.6. Randy Zimmer is, and still he needs to improve. I know he will. He's coming out of the pits now. Peter David is a second down, but he's not going to worry too much about it, I don't think. As long as he's at the head somewhere, the first 4 or 5 of the silver field, he'll be happy.
Brian Banks is up 0.7. Let's see. That's going to push him up into P6.
Probably P4, P5.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. It's up 0.8 still. P6. P6 for him. How much? Yeah, we have 5 minutes. 5 more minutes for him to drive. So Stuart is in the pits.
Randy Zimmer. He's up by 1/10.5 coming into Puhan.
Oh, he goes wide. I think
it does seem with this track, when you're testing downforce of this track, Puhan is definitely where you want to test your downforce. So last night I was doing this. I was taking off 1 click of downforce every run that I did, and I got to the point where Puhan I braked for it, and the back end just went completely round, and I just basically crashed. And I realized, okay, so that's not enough downforce. I had to put it a click back up. But the test of downforce isn't Eau Rouge, because Eau Rouge, there's so much compression at the bottom. It's just really the middle of the corner where you have problems. But with Pujon, because it falls away from you, the road falls away, that downforce is so incredibly important.
And
Lee Ellis has improved again. He's like less than a tenth away from Stuart Charles.
And James Parks put himself up in P6, great lap. He has a really amazing livery. This AMD livery is pretty cool.
Yeah, Krista. So, I mean, what's your prediction for the race? I mean, we haven't really seen any. We haven't seen the end of qualifying, Terry. So, I think we're a little bit ahead of the game there. We need to wait to see what happens. So,
yeah, I hope we're going to see good things from Peter. He seems to be driving with a new vigor. Obviously, the fight's going to be between Ellis and Zimmer, but now Stuart Charles is still sitting in provisional pole. So, I mean, anything can happen here, because it would be fun if both Stuart and Peter could make a splash here and come up in the top, shake things up a little bit. But Stewart is really having pace. I'm looking at Lawrence up a second, but that's gonna not really put him up that much. His last time was 2:24. If he do 2:23, maybe he gets just behind Melvin Schmidt. Fellow commentator Mike Meleskis sits in P10. See if David can finish up. He's 1.6 up now, so maybe he can get the P10.
Nikos, you're not going to win any money betting on those three for your podium. I'm telling you. You need to put a wild card in there. Yeah,
P10 for David Lawrence. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think probably Zimmer gonna win this. He seems very consistent. So, yeah, you never know.
It's hard. He's got to stay out of trouble. You know, these guys, they have a slightly different race than the Platinum guys, because they're starting midfield, even at the front of their own field. They are midfield, so they've got to be very, very careful what they do, and they've got to take care of their race, because they have one little accident and they can screw their entire race.
Yeah, and also with the 2:19.4 here for the best lap right now for the silver, I wonder if there's going to be that much overlap with the platinum group. I think they're going to do better times than that, though. All of them.
I think so. Well, I mean, we'll see in a moment. So these guys have got another minute and a half to finish their qualifying. We've got Lee Ellis and Peter David, who's in P3. They're sitting in the pits. They're like, okay, we're happy doing this. I'm probably taking a little break. James Parks is in P6, and he's sitting in the pits as well. Randy Zimmer is on a fast one. He's currently 2/10 up going into Les Combes. See what he does. He's just over half a second off of the pole time for the silver cars.
Yeah, he really needs to find... Well, he's finding a little time there.
Yeah, no, he has the potential to find a lot of time and take the pole position. So he's almost half a second up right now. But as we know, you can just lose it all in one corner. Lost a little bit of time there, lost a 10th, but now we've got this big Pujon corner where if you get it right on entry, you can gain a massive amount of time on the exit if you can get on the gas. And he's hit that inside apex, and he's got on the gas really, really nicely. So he's half a second up right now. It's another one where you've got to kind of sacrifice the entry for the exit, and he's done so. He's almost 7/10 up. Make a really clean exit there. Got a little bit of oversteer. He lost a little bit of time, but he's got his entry to this next one, Malmedy, and he's coming back onto this long dog run down to Blanchimont. He lost a little bit of time, but then he's got that hard braking zone for the bus stop, which is another spot where, you know, you can gain and lose a huge amount of time. We didn't see his last lap, so we don't know what kind of advantage he can get by getting it right, but gets on the brakes. He sees this apex. He takes the first exit apex really well. He's lost a little bit of time, but now he's gained it again on the exit. 4/10 up. He's going to take P3. Yep, P3 for Randy Zimmer.
Yeah, nice second row. That's important. So he's going to be on the inside.
Aaron Shannon is still on track, but he's on a slow lap, so that's not going to count for anything.
Yeah, I think
so
all of them are in now. Yeah.
The Platinum guys are all out on track, headed by Peter Wolfschleiner, number 196. So let's see how much faster he is on his first flying lap than our silver runners. So our silver runners, the pole position time, it was a 2:19.4.
Yeah, that was 2:19.4.
And I've seen in pre-qualifying, I did see a fleeting lap from Peter that was in the low 2:16s. So that's potentially 3 seconds faster. So here we go. He's coming down. He's got a new livery. Is that a new livery that he's got?
No, I've seen that before.
I don't recognize that livery, but I thought it was a wholly green car. But anyway, here he goes. He's starting his lap. Down in the first gear into La Source. Gets back on the power. He stays on the grey stuff. Gets maximum traction. As he comes down to Eau Rouge, and you know it's going to be as flat as a pancake. Yeah, he's completely flat, and he knows exactly where his boundaries are for the middle of Eau Rouge and Rédéon. Coming up to Les Combes, and these are classic corners where you've got to really sacrifice the entry for a really good exit here, which of course he's done. Not a hint of oversteer. On the gas really, really early as we go down the hill to this 180-degree corner. Really tippy-toeing around there, into No Name. I think that's an opportunity there, I think. You get on the gas a little bit late, but hey, I can't go this quickly, so, you know, I'm just a commentator. But Pouhon, got an amazing line through Pouhon and a great exit. It's like poetry that he's writing here in his car. It really is. Yeah, I think there's an opportunity there to go a little bit quicker. He was dancing around. And that's completely flat.
Yeah, that's really good. That's such a hard corner. You have to turn in much earlier than you think. He's changing his traction control as he drives.
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing he's got TC off.
Yeah. He turns it off here, and he turned it off. He turned it off for
now he's got TC2 as he comes out of the bus stop to finish his lap, and it's a 2:16.985.
Wow.
So, you know, we did see some opportunity to go away. He could have gotten on the gas a little bit earlier. So I think that was his banker lap. And now, you know, I think he can go at least a half a second quicker.
Yeah, and I think you're right. This is a new livery. This is they have like a team livery.
Okay.
Him and the Swedes. So, yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, so is he an honorary Swede, or are they honorary Austrian?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what's going on?
Why don't we move on to, let's have a look at Merche, because our winner of the Cup race yesterday.
Yeah, in his Ferrari.
Yeah, I think he's one who he's 2 seconds off the pace, but I think he's got room to improve there. And you know, he's had some amazing pace these last few weeks, and I'm curious to see how he's going to go.
Yeah, and supposedly that the new Ferrari is supposed to be the fastest car in ACC.
Well, let's see. He's 0.3 up right now, going out of Les Combes. Half a second now. He lost some time there. As he approaches Huhon, and he's missed the apex, and he's invalidated the lap. So commentator's curse right there. So why don't we move on to somebody else? Steve Young is sitting in P3 in that lovely Mercedes.
Yeah, Steve Young placed P3 in the last 2 races.
Yep, our reigning champion, of course. Oh, and Chris Moses is actually in the race. I didn't think that he
great.
had... I didn't see him in pre-qualifying, so he has made it here, which is awesome. So he's in the BMW, one of the few BMs that we have in the race. He's currently 2.6 seconds off. He's 0.8 up on this lap. He's coming down towards Blanchimont right now, so this is going to bring him up probably into the top 10. He's 0.9 up now. Like it's in slow motion when they get to the bus stop chicane.
Yeah.
So he's 1.2 seconds up. This should bring him up to P7, P8. Oh, P4. Wow.
Nice.
Amazing. But look at that, a second and a half off of Peter's time. So we see Peter Wolfschlein in P1, 2:16.9. Tommy Hellstrom half a second off, but I know Tommy can go quicker than that provisional pole time. I saw it just like 10 minutes or 20 minutes ago. Steve Young not far off. Well, actually, Steve Young a second and a half off almost. So, yeah, those top 2.
Yeah,
pretty
so
much light years ahead.
For some reason, I haven't picked up Tommy's livery. I have Larsson's alien livery. Have to look at what happened with Tommy's matte flat black, or what do you call it, matte black on the screen. So Derek is driving up in P9.4. That could push him up a little bit into maybe P5, P6. Currently in Puhan, turn 11. 6 minutes left of qualifying.
Yeah, so our cutoff from silver to platinum is P11. So Stuart Charles is 2.452 seconds off of Peter Wolfschleiner's provisional pole time. But he is ahead currently of Jeremy Arabas, who is currently on a hot lap as well. So he's actually 0.6 up on his fastest lap right now. So that should take him above Stuart Charles. And then you have Laszlo Nemeth, who's in P14, who's also behind those top 2 silver guys. But I saw Laszlo go really, really quickly in pre-qual, so he's got a lot of time in hand as well. So as you said earlier on, Krista, I think there's not a whole lot of crossover. I don't actually think there'll be any crossover at all, to be honest, when these guys get their fast laps in. Yeah, Nikos Merche is in great form this season, for sure. Must be practicing an awful lot, because that's the only way I can go quickly, is like practice, practice, practice. I can't just jump in and get it quick.
Yeah, Sharpenberry up a second here. That could put him up. Where will he end up? Okay, P18.
Jeremy is coming through the last corner right now. He's half a second up. This is going to bring him up to P11. So he's P11 right behind Merche, actually. So Merche unable to find the same kind of form that he had yesterday. It's like a different person driving almost. Let's see here.
Patrick Larsson up half a second. All right, Nico's picking Zimmer, David, and Ellis. All right, Patrick Larsson gaining time. Through Stavelot. What would that do? That could possibly push him into the top 10 start. Yeah, I think it's actually only Larsson that's, if we're looking at the, let's see where the crossover is. Now with Zimmer it's a little bit further up. See what he gets in. Patrick Larsson is currently in P13, goes out to P8. Great drive. I wonder if the track gets faster and faster, or if it's just kind of on and off once it...
I think it does. I do believe at the end of qualifying, it does evolve.
Yeah, Craig Holmes up half sec. That should push him into maybe P4 even for Craig. See? Coming through the bus stop.
So Terry Trowbridge just improved to P5. That's, pardon my French, but that's fucking excellent.
Yeah.
Cherry's like 74. He's one fast motherfucker, I tell you.
Craig Holmes,
really
P3.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, nice job, Craig. Holy shit, that's brilliant. And he's gone straight into the pits because he knows he's probably thinking he ain't going to go any faster than that. He's probably sweating buckets and he's like, yeah, okay, time to take a break. But that is amazing on the second row. Derek Bird also up to P4. Yeah, Nikos, I'd like to see Stefan into the top 10 as well. I'm not sure if has he completed that? No. So I believe Stefan Buckley is going to be starting from the back, as he does like to do that. He likes his racing. He'd rather start from the back and overtake people than start in the front. Got to respect that. Johan Larsson just improved. He's in P3, so he just leapfrogged Craig Holmes and Derek Bird. Steve Young down in P6. Chris Moses, he must be disappointed, in P8. Who's worth looking at here?
Yeah, Moses is at 0.6. I'm not sure what that would do. Well, I mean, that would put him up maybe on the third row.
Yeah, it'll squeak him in, like P4, P5. Yeah, P4 it would be. Trying to cycle him through the grid to actually find him. We've just got so many drivers. Poundov sitting in P11. I can tell he can improve. I mean, he's just gotten through La Source with a 1/10 of a second in hand, and that's at the beginning of the lap. So. And he's really struggling. I tell you what, he's struggling through Eau Rouge in that Ferrari.
Yeah, Moses is still up. Laszlo Nemeth, currently P16, is up a second. Laszlo is now P9. All right, let's see what Chris Moses will do. From P8, he goes to P4. So,
yeah, glad to see him up there, that's for sure. We get a more exciting race.
Yeah, so as we see on the timing board, there is a little overlap there. We have Sharpenberry, Statis, and Ollie is overlapping with the silver group.
I just rode with Laszlo Nemeth through the bottom of Eau Rouge, and he got so sideways. It really looked like it was a big accident waiting to happen. He nearly crashed.
Yeah, so he's actually on a valid lap right now, so he could do something.
He is. 10th and a half up.
And Peter is still driving, and he's looking to improve his time if he stays. He's gaining. Where is he now? Okay, he's just about to complete this lap. Is he going to improve? Yes, he's going to improve to 2:16.5. 2:16.5. That's the best time for
Laszlo's actually on a really nice lap here. He's just gone through Huhon, and he's 3/10 up. Gaining. Yeah, this is a great lap, almost half a second up on his best time. So if he can keep this up, this should take him pretty deep into the top 10. Keep this up, Laszlo. Come on, keep it together, mate. Approaching Blanchimont. This is one of those corners you can't go side by side into Blanchimont. Big crash waiting to happen. Okay, so let's see as he breaks down into the bus stop. Takes it as wide as possible so he can get back on the gas early. Good job. It was 0.6 up in the middle of the corner. He's now half a second up, and that gives him P7. Nice job, Laszlo Nemeth. Excellent.
Yeah, very nice. I think that establishes the order. Yeah, there you have it. That's the starting order. So for the silver, we have Charles and Ellis and Zimmer. And for the platinum, Peter, Tommy, and Johan. So the aliens, the alien team. I'm sorry I don't have the livery for Tommy. It's going to be on the replay though. I'm going to make sure I have it. So that's kind of cool. I like that livery, really nice. I wonder, is that Nikos? Did you make that livery? Yeah, pretty cool.
And just for context, my pace car lap would have been good enough for 20th on the grid.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Retire me now. But look at that. So yeah, Peter Wolfschlander did improve to 2:16.5. So he did that right at the very end. So, you know, very, very impressive lap. But I think Tommy Hellstrom, you know, he didn't maximize what his potential was, because we've seen him in the 2:16s. So, you know, sure, there's almost a second between the two, but it's just qualifying. And, you know, can you do it lap after lap, you know, ultimately? Falling down his back, as it were, at the beginning. And I am going to take just a very, very quick break.
Yeah, me too. We'll be right back. right, these cars are about to roll.
Yep.
Okay, let's see if my little track walk thingamajiggy can work. Okay, let's see here. All right, so we're Peter Volslener. Here's in the alien livery. Looks really cool. And then Tommy Hellström should have been in the livery, alien livery, in the same team. Johan Larsson, I have his livery. So that's the third. So all the aliens and these guys are working a lot together and training and stuff. So no surprise. So Chris Moses P4, Craig Holmes in his Audi. Then we have Derek Bird from England and Laszlo Nemeth from Holland. And you see how international we are here in eSeniors. Steve Young, Sky 194 from the United States in the Mercedes. Terry Trowbridge, I mean, we're a fan of Terry, one of our oldest drivers, I think. So he's in the McLaren P9, great result for him. Sylvain, prolific streamer from Belgium. He has quite a rig. If you watch him online, he has one of those motion rigs. Crazy stuff. Patrick Larsson, the third Swede in the McLaren. In the Ferrari. Mirch Pornov, P12, the winner of the Porsche. He's really dominating the Porsche Cup. A little bit different here today at Spa in the Ferrari in P12. So Jeremy Arobas, fearless leader in P13. Stuart Charles, the leader starting first in the silver team today. Lee Ellis is behind him in the silver. And here's a little overlap from I'm sorry, I missed him. Here we go. Richard McSharpenberry, P16. Statis in P17. Then we have Randy Zimmer, the leader of the silver. Peter David, the winner of last race. Let's keep an eye on him and see what he can do. He was the winner of the silver group. Our dear friend Daniel Britos from Argentina, P20. Aaron Shannon in his CYMK inspired livery. Oops, did I miss someone there? James Parks, cool livery there. Neil Leader, Brian Banks, and Richard McKay. David Coulomb, P3 in the silver. Hugo Caballero in the pits. Michael McClellan. David Lawrence from the UK, Mike Mileski, Canada, Melvin Schmidt. God, we have a lot of cars. P31.
Yeah, there are a lot of cars.
Stefan Buckley, P32. Andy Driscoll, 33. The last on the grid. That's our Aussie friend, P34. So,
yeah, what happened to Ollie? I didn't see that he was lost. I thought he had.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised as well. Yeah.
Not sure what's happening there. All right, so as we come down to the final bend,
I got through all the cars though. I started to
that was very impressive, Krista. Also, the excellent pronunciation of all of these drivers in there were so many different languages. I mean, you got it 100%.
I've practiced a lot. Yeah, I'm not so worried about Eau Rouge. I'm more worried about the first chicane. So let's see what happens.
Les Combes, yeah.
Les Combes, yeah. So let's.
It all depends who gets a good start going down the hill, because if you get a good start and then you're like 3 wide or 2 wide or whatever, it's like, okay, where do you go? Do you lift? Nobody wants to lift when you're going down that hill. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And if everyone lifts, guess what happens? You have an accident. If no one lifts, you have an accident. So here we go.
Yeah, here we go. We have Wolf Lehner on the inside of Tommy Hellstrom. Then we have, so all these three guys are training hard together, so I don't think we're going to see on the bump and grind between these guys. Yeah, it looks like starting in a pretty good order. Here we're coming up Eau Rouge. We stay with the first pack. Yeah, not surprisingly, Wolf Lehner goes out strong. Hellstrom, Larsson. Moses comes just behind, trying to challenge. Let's go down a little bit. Laszlo Nemeth had a little... I think these are more door-to-door action. Let's stay with this group here. Moses really pushing here on Larsson. Old brakes
everyone got through Eau Rouge without any contact by the looks of it. There was no yellow on my screen.
Yeah, very nice. Maybe a little door-to-door there. Someone going wide. One car going wide. Coming back on track here soon. That Peter David. Oh, that's unfortunate. Peter David, I did so well last race.
Yep. I see Laszlo Nemeth contact, Daniel Britos contact. Yeah, Peter David is all the way down to the back of the field. I'm glad you have some pudding there, Frank.
He's having pudding.
He's having, yeah, he said the benefits of a slow opening lap is he can get his pudding, apple and ice cream.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah, I'm just scanning down here. Gonna see after the first race, people are gonna... I think it was Buckley that went wide, perhaps. Hugo Caballero is in the back,
didn't he?
Yeah, more or less.
All right, so we're coming to the end of the first lap, and Peter Wolfschleiner has opened up a 1 second lead already from Tommy Hellstrom and Johan Larsson. Chris Moses isn't far behind Larsson, and then Craig Holmes isn't very far behind him, and then you have Derek Bird in P6, Laszlo Nemeth 7, and Steve Young rounding out the top 8 as everyone files down into the bus stop chicane for the first time.
Yeah, Hellstrom and Larsson. Moses have lost a little time here towards these guys in the top, the alien team. But more or less the first 8 have not changed any positions. Sylvain is up 1 position, passing Trowbridge.
And then, you know, the tail of the field, the guys in P31, 32, 33, and 34 are all platinum drivers. Stefan Buckley, Andy Driscoll, Ollie, and Hugo.
Yeah, so it's noted here that they are up 1 position, but that's probably because they started back there. I know Driscoll was started from the back. Caballero lost 7, so he must be the one that kind of went a little sideways. So I see Chris Moses start to catch up on Larsson. And also Steve Young starting to catch up on Nemeth.
Derek Bird is really harrying Craig Holmes. As is Chris Moses on Johan Larsson for P3. You know, got 2 really good battles going on in the top 6 here. And Steve Young is like right on Laszlo Nemeth's tail as well. So, you know, you actually got a really close racing straight up here at Spa-Francorchamps. Hopefully this will carry on through the whole race.
Down.
Yeah, Nico Speedo lost 11 spots on that opening lap.
Okay, here it's Peter David challenging Smith. It's very crowded. And behind there comes Stefan Buckley in the red car. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide here. Oh, no, Buckley touch on David. And then he goes off to kind of wait. And that almost had Ollie clipping him.
Stefan.
Yeah, it's nice to wait, but do that when it's time. So I think Buckley went into the wall and he went into... So no real impact on Peter David. Maybe he has, except being getting really scared probably.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want aero damage here either. You know, you get one little bump can like really kill your top speed, which you really need here.
Yeah, I got some aero damage on my Porsche yesterday, and it was 10 seconds to repair it, but it didn't really affect me because the Porsche, they don't really have that much downforce, I think, so I didn't worry about it, and I was still doing the same times as before.
Yeah, you can smash those Porsche Cup cars up quite a lot, and you know they still go pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the Delta race gaps on there. Here we go. Let's see, Lee Ellis and Mirsch, look at this. This could be a spicy little constellation to follow in the midfield. So Lee Ellis is chasing the Pornoff here. Looks like Pornoff was wishing he was in the Porsche.
Pornoff, so Lee Ellis, I'm looking down the field here. Lee Ellis is in P16. He's chasing Jeremy Arabas in P15.
Yeah, Nikos, Peter didn't meet the barrier.
Wait a second, but why does it say Pornoff? Okay, I'm confused here.
What do you mean now?
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So something must have happened to Pornoff. So you know, I see now my my timing beam is now updating. So yeah, Pornoff is in P15. So something must have happened to him because he lost a lot of spots. Now he's trying to get by Jeremy, and he's gone really wide on the exit of Blanchimont. Yeah, Merche is really, really off pace for him, right? P15, that's pretty painful for him. He's been used to racing at the very front of the field, racing like a young man.
Yeah. Oh, there comes Shannon on the inside on Britos. It's funny because these guys, and that's the same when I race, I kind of just tend to be in the same neighborhood with the same guys every race. And I think that's the same here with the Banks and Britos and Shannon. And Daniel Britos is really hard to pass. Here comes Shannon, he's really trying. Okay, he's slipstreaming here. He's gonna see if Britos' defense stays on the inside. See if Shannon gonna swing on the outside, yeah. And there you go, braking late, little touch. Ooh, that was gutsy. And behind there we have Parks. Park went sideways.
Yeah, spun it around.
But that was
so I think that Merche has got some kind of damage or something because he's like really slow. Going through Eau Rouge, Lee Ellis had to really lift right in the middle of Eau Rouge, and in fact, Merche went completely off, way off.
Yeah, I don't see anything on his car though, at least from the front. Yeah, that's surprising. He's chasing Jeremy right now. We had a flag here on McKay and McClellan, probably got together a little door to door. Stefan sits in the pit, so I don't think he is coming out. Oh, he goes on the inside.
And Stuart Charles is currently leading the silver group, and Lee Ellis is second in that group, but he has Jeremy and Merche between himself and Stuart.
There we go, a move by Mr. McClellan. See what other tight racing we have. Nemeth.
Yeah, this battle with Nemeth and Desire is really good. They're coming down to Eau Rouge right now, and I know Laszlo's got more speed than the Ferrari ahead of him. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. He's got a nice little gap between himself and the car in front so that he can actually get through. He's not flat through Eau Rouge, he really isn't, but he's gotten through a little bit quicker than Sylvain. See if he can dive. And Sylvain has taken the defensive line on the inside, which is his prerogative for Lake Army, squeezing Laszlo on the outside. It was a bit naughty. I thought that was going to be a crash, but no, they made it through. And you could see there, like, really clearly that Laszlo is much faster than Sylvain in that whole first sector.
Something happened to Stuart Charles. I'm going to jump to the replay here. See, that's too bad. Yeah, he's getting on the curb and starts to slide. Yeah, he didn't have any damage, so he just had to re-enter the race. Unfortunate, goodness. He did such a good qualifying first in the silver group. Now you had to just start over.
Yeah, that'll put a smile on Lee Ellis's face, I tell you. So, you know, yeah, as he went into Eau Rouge, he got the first apex right, and then the second apex, he got slightly on the grass, which was enough to really unstable the car, and it just flipped round.
Oh, Daniel Britos. What happened with Daniel? Let's look at him. Looks like it's self-inflicted coming into turn 10, Pujon. It's oversteering. Then he comes into turn 12. Goes wide. Oh, he gets on the turf. Gets on the grass. Goes across. And hits the barrier. Doing a 360 and joining the race.
And so that no-name turn, he completely missed the apex. But instead of lifting, he just kept his foot in it. And it just went around. And you make a mistake, you need a lift most of the time.
Yeah, Lee Ellis leading the silver group, Silver Surfers.
Okay, let's see what's happening up front. So Peter Wolfschleiner is leading after 5 laps. Tommy Hellstrom, actually, is not far behind. He's less than a second behind. So, you know, if they had some DRS, he would get that extra toe. Of course he doesn't, because this is not Formula One. Johan Larsen in P3, another 1.6 seconds behind. He's being challenged by Chris Moses. He's just waiting for a big error from Johan. 3 seconds back down on him is Craig Holmes, who's being harried really closely by Derek Bird. I mean, Derek's so close he can smell his bad aftershave, and then Steve Young is behind both of these guys looking for a way past. So top 7, I think really the top 10, there's a lot going on. Laszlo Nemeth, actually, he is, once again, he's like super close behind.
Yeah, I'm doing the replay here on Nemeth's passing Sylvain at some point. Yeah, they go Sylvain oversteers, and that gave Nemeth that position. So
yep, good stuff. And that was really good racing by Laszlo, because he kept up the pressure without, you know, crashing into the guy in front. He was clearly a lot faster, and it's really difficult, you know, when the guy in front is being defensive like that, it's difficult not to crash into them. It really is. So good job.
all right, Steve Young coming after Derek Bird.
Yeah, this little quartet is a nice one. Craig, Derek, and Steve, they're very close, and you can see when they hit the brakes real hard, like that last corner, they close up significantly. And this makes it more exciting, you know, when you go down into Eau Rouge, because when they're this close, because pretty much anything can happen. And when you're very close to the car in front and a high-speed corner like that, you do get the aero wash, and it's very difficult to go through the corner as you normally would without the car in front. But they kind of distance themselves from each other going through Eau Rouge this time.
Yeah, Derek had a little different line there. He kind of went into the middle of the track.
Yeah, that's my preferred line.
Yeah, I know.
We have a lot of people query, you know, why am I on the left-hand side of the circuit? Well, you know, that's because you basically aim for the first apex, and instead of turning into the first apex, you can just drive straight at it. So, I mean, I'm turning less if I'm on the inside approaching Eau Rouge. So I don't know why nobody else hasn't, you know, discovered that, and I've been doing that for a long time, and now I'm seeing Derek do it. I'm not sure if it's helpful or not, whether it's faster or not, but it's definitely no slower.
Yeah, Peter David just passed McKay, did that on the replay. McKay screwed up the entry into the chicane. The nice thing with Spa is there's a lot of places where you can pass, which is nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of places where you can practice racecraft.
Yeah.
That's what it's
a
about.
A lot of places
here.
where you can screw up too.
Yeah. And you know, both offensive and defensive racecraft here. Chris Moses has posted the fastest lap of the race. That's a 2:18 flat. Let's see, Johan ahead of him, who's just literally a split second ahead of him, did a 2:18.1. Tommy Hellstrom a 2:18.3. Peter Wolfschlein a 2:18.4. So I guess, you know, Peter, he's probably the most consistent. I mean, he's the guy in P1. But, you know, the top four is all very, very close. There's like, well, 1, 2, 3. There's like 3.5 seconds between first and fourth place. So when we do get to the pit stops, which are coming up, you know, pit window is open as we speak. But, you know, this is the opportunity for the top four to be mixed up a little bit.
Yeah, Nikos made the comment here that Audi remains a rocket on the straight, but we don't have too many Audis. I think we just have one. Maybe you had two. Okay, first best lap for Wolf, 2:17.9. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he must have been listening to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Go faster, Peter. So I would say that Craig at this point is holding up Derek Bird and Steve Young behind. I mean, not by a whole lot.
Yeah, here comes Andy Driscoll speaking about Audis. So he's got past Brian Banks on the inside. Coming into Lecombe. Oh, he's almost overcooked it, but he managed to keep it on track in his Mercedes.
So Lee Ellis is currently leading the silver guys in P15. He has Dimitri Stathis, who is a platinum runner, behind him by another 2.5 seconds. But there's 4.5, 5.5, 6. There's 7 seconds between Lee Ellis and the guy in second place in silver. That's Aaron Shannon. So Lee's sitting pretty happy right now. Where is Peter David? Because he has most potential to be able to move up. He's in P24.
Yeah, he just passed there. I'm gonna do a replay on that. He just passed McClellan.
Yeah, and he's sitting ahead of Rich McKay. Oh no, is he ahead or behind McClellan?
Yeah, so
you're right. Yeah, he got past McClellan.
Yeah, I'm just doing a replay here. He's coming into Stavelot. Nice pass. He has confidence in his setup. Good job there, coming up to P23 for Peter David.
Yeah, that's not easy either, going up towards Puhan on the approach to Puhan.
James Parks passing Mike Mileski without really any issues, turn 16. James Parks up with P26. Let's see, Derek Bird is chasing Craig Holmes.
Johan Larsson just picked up the fastest lap of the race at 2:17.7.
Yeah, so these three guys here, Peter, Tommy, and Johan, they in the interview of last win for Wolfsland, he said that they're practicing pit stops with each other, and they're sitting there with, reviewing how they're doing the pit stops and stuff. They just really try to maximize everything. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so who got the stop and go last week? Was it Tommy or Johan?
Oh, I don't remember now.
Because one of them did get I think it may have been Tommy Hellstrom, got the stop and go for, I'm assuming he was speeding in the pit lane, but he didn't see where it happened. But, it just goes to show you can practice, and just, not be paying 100% attention and screw it up. But these guys, the top three, they're closing up actually a little bit. And Chris Moses, I mean, they've definitely upped the pace. And you can tell, Johan just posted the fastest lap. And Chris Moses has fallen behind by over a second now from Johan. So Chris's last lap was a 2:18.4. Johan's was a 2:17.7. Meanwhile, Craig Holmes is still holding Derek Bird and Steve Young behind. Steve Young is just as close to Derek as Derek is to Craig. It's a great little battle that they're having. And Laszlo Nemeth is, Laszlo Nemeth is falling back a little bit from that quartet. Terry Trowbridge in P10. He's chasing Sylvain and Laszlo.
Yeah.
Hey, Branko.
Hey, Branko.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, looking forward to the pit stops, because the pit stop here is 92 seconds.
Yeah, the pit stop here is just horrible,
that
isn't
is
it?
spent on that, yeah.
Yeah, you've got to go through the Formula One pit lane before you get that really, really long GT3 pit lane, and it's just horrible.
The upside is you can sit there and tinker with your tire pressures and fuel for a little bit. So
I mean, if you need to, yeah. Let's have a look at the settings that these guys have. So Johan Larsson, he has TC3, ABS2, and as does Tommy. And this is the difference. Okay, this is the difference between Peter Wolfschleiner, Tommy Hellstrom, and Johan Larsson. Peter is messing around with his DC like 2 or 3 times a lap. And Tommy and Johan are it's static. It's sitting at 2. But yeah, Peter is Peter's like the Michael Schumacher, isn't he, of this league? Michael, he was very famous for just changing settings constantly in the car. I think he was one of the first to do that, changing the brake balance from corner to corner and the roll bars and anything that he could do. And then everyone else started to follow suit. But, the de facto number one at the time was Ayrton Senna, and your Alain Prost and Nigel Mansell and company. And they wouldn't do that. But then along comes Michael, and he can see these opportunities in the car where, hey, you can keep on changing this from lap to lap and from corner to corner. And that's what Peter is doing.
Yeah, that takes a lot of concentration to do that.
Yeah, way too much concentration,
And I talked to him once, and he said, I don't want to stream. I don't want to be on the mic. I'm just want to focus. And I've been trying to stream and drive myself, and it just doesn't work. You can do it, but I think you lose too much concentration. I just watched Zimmer going into the wall, coming up through Eau Rouge, and he bounced off the wall, and he took someone out, whoever is the one with those splash. Oh, I see a little spin here almost by...
who is it?
Oh, there you go, Brian Banks past Driscoll. Yeah, it's Andy Driscoll in the grey Mercedes following here. So Zimmer took out someone, unfortunately. Whoever it is that has that splashy livery. Is that David Larson?
Is that Neil Leader?
No, it was Zimmer. He hit David Lawrence. Unfortunately, wasn't really his fault. So he's a little banged up here, David Lawrence.
Oh, I see.
Oh, he looks like his floppy bonnet and everything. Yeah, it goes into the pits, David Lawrence. Unfortunate. Okay, Lee Ellis.
So Chris Moses has passed Johan Larsson for P3. So I'm not sure what happened there. But I'm assuming that Johan probably had some kind of moment that slowed him down and allowed Chris to get by, because only a few laps ago, Chris had fallen behind by like 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, I tried to catch that on the replay, but it was too far back.
And you can see it on their lap time. So the previous lap, Chris did a 2:18.8, and which is slow, right? And Johan did a 2:19.5. So I'm sure, Johan had some kind of incident which actually slowed Chris down, but he was still able to get past him. Hopefully we'll catch that on Midfield Madness with Mike.
Yeah.
Steve Young is still behind Derek Bird and Craig Holmes. He's dropped back a little bit, but Derek Bird, though, is round once again. He is so close behind Craig. He's like, must be really frustrated now. Just doesn't have the top speed, the same top speed that Craig has. He's towing up on him on the straight here, going down to Kemble Straight, and Craig is taking the defensive line on the inside, so he's going to have to brake a little bit earlier in order to get around the turn, which he does. He's a wily old man, is Craig.
Oh, that's a great driving by both of these guys not to lose it there. It's easy that you kind of overcommit as you chase and you get tunnel vision.
Yeah, we have a stop and go penalty for number 660.
Oh, 660. Who is that? Oh, that's Tommy Hellström.
It is. It is Tommy Hellström.
Ouch.
And so he's currently running in P2. So he has had 4 track cuts, has Tommy. So once again, a disaster for Tommy Hellström. Last week it was a stop and go. This week slightly different, but same outcome, a drive-through.
Puon is
lost time.
I think Puon is claiming another, or maybe it's the no-name corner, or it's actually named here in the Fangel, turn 12. Mehmet oversteered and.
Yeah, so Chris Moses is going to be like licking his lips now because he's in effect in P2, and now it's game on because we're coming up to the pit stops.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Like I mentioned, they practiced this, so I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, but Crystal, look, check it out. So how many laps have you done around Spa over the years? Just in the last 2 years, right? Just thousands of freaking laps, right? Yet you'll still do track cuts because you're trying to go as fast as you can.
Yeah.
It's just, that's the bottom line, It's just, it kind of sucks, but you've got to drive within the limits of the track.
Yeah, I thought he maybe did it in the pit stops, but he hasn't been into the pit, so.
He's in now.
Yeah.
But, so he has a drive-through, but he's pitting right now for tires and fuel. So is he going to have to come in again to do a drive-through?
Oh, very crowded. Penalty. It's very crowded there in the chicane, last chicane.
It is. Oh, yep.
Oh, what is that? Oh no! That's Daniel Britos. We have to look at the replay on this. This is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
So Daniel Britos is fighting here with Peter David, coming in towards the chicane.
And Peter David.
And Richard McKay is behind there. Everyone is nice and happy. So here Peter David goes in.
They're racing in the pit lane.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Daniel Britos decides to go in. I don't understand that.
Oh, Daniel. Oh, come on, Daniel.
So, not the best moment for Daniel there.
And it looks like we need to have an amendment for our rules when it comes to coming into the pits, because there's a little pit marker that you really need to be in. Yeah, holy crap is right, Willie. I've never seen that before. So anyway, here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in the pits as we stand right now. And poor Peter David, man, his car is just absolutely battered to death. At this point, he's probably laughing, but...
Yeah, I'm not sure he is.
I don't know. I don't know. Peter's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Meanwhile...
In other news,
Exactly.
Peter is still driving out.
So, Chris Moses, Johan Larsson, Craig Holmes, and Steve Young all in the pits right now. That are coming down the Formula One pit lane.
Pornoff just coming in.
So and Peter Wolfschleiner is still out, and Derek Bird has inherited all those positions, is currently running in second place in his Porsche.
So Tommy just went in to serve his drive-through. I mean, he got the drive-through, right?
Yes.
So he served that one, so he didn't do any stoppage. Just browsing down here, see how people are doing with the stoppage. I might have not been correct with my estimate of 92 seconds, because it looks like if you do a decent stop, it's going to be 72 or 73 seconds altogether.
Very, very difficult to keep track of what's going on here because there's so many cars in the pits.
Yeah, we just have to wait until they...
Yeah, and Nikos, that was epic. We need to see like some extreme close-up replays of that coming into the pits. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I need to do a little replay, and I put this clown music on here.
Yeah. It's like an episode of Benny Hill.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, very busy in the pits now. Peter is still out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, what we really need to do is follow Peter for when he comes into the pits, because there was only about like 3.5 seconds between Peter Wolfschleiner and
comes into the pits now,
and Chris Moses.
Yeah, Chris Moses is out on the track. So he's in turn 8, coming down the mountain, so to speak, or the hill, or whatever you call it. And Peter has a lot of work to do in the pits, meaning that he's just coming in.
Yeah, it's just so slow, isn't it? He's just gone through La Source, in the inside of La Source, going down the GT3 pits. Meanwhile, Chris Moses is halfway around the lap.
Hellström is out.
On.
So Hellström have served his pit stop now.
Yeah, so did Tommy have to go into the pits twice?
Yep.
Yeah, he did?
It's been 2 times.
All right, good to know.
All right, so Wolfschleiner, he is not even in. Now he's going, so he has 30 seconds. So let's see where Chris Moses is.
Yeah, Chris is just approaching Blanchimont right now towards the end of the lap, but...
Oh, he's going to come out ahead of Peter then.
I don't think so. I think it's just going to be very, very close here. Let's see. Just coming through the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, so
I think you're right. So Peter, he's still sitting. Okay, Peter is now on his way out of the pits, and he had pretty much the last pit stall. So yeah, no, he's way ahead. He's way ahead.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, we neglected to realize that he had pretty much the last pit stall. So when he came out, it was just a straight run up the hill.
And he had a very good stop. He had the 74, so he had the 32 seconds stand. And he actually had almost exactly the same stop as Chris Moses. So, yeah, Chris Moses is now P2.
Yeah, 9 seconds adrift of Peter.
And Lee is still silver, sitting pretty there in the silver group.
Yeah, and the big loser there was Johan. He lost a good 3 or 4 seconds on Chris Moses in that pit stop exchange, because he had just gotten past Johan like a few laps before the pit stops. But, you know, I mean, ultimately, I think Johan is faster than Chris. But, yeah, he definitely lost a few seconds out of the pit stops. Is that true? Stan is saying that pole position gives you the first box out. I don't think that's true. I believe you get the pit boxes, the allocation of the pit boxes is where you actually enter the server.
Yeah, that's interesting. We have to check that, actually.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think it still stands where basically when you enter the server, that's the pit box that you get. But we'll have to have a look at that.
Steve Young is really pushing on Craig Holmes. He's gonna make a move in the chicane. No, not yet.
Yeah, so during the pit stop exchange, Derek Bird lost that position to Steve Young, and now it's Steve's turn to try and get past Craig Holmes.
Yeah, Derek was 2.5 seconds slower in this pit than Steve Young, so that's probably made it.
What about young Mr. Paunoff? Where is he? He's in P12.
Yeah, P12 for Paunoff.
And Lee Ellis in P13, going great guns in that Spitfire McLaren. Ahead of numerous guys from the Platinum Club.
Yeah, exactly. We see Statis, Arobas and Hellstrom, and then Britos down there, who really made a spectacle of his pit entry. Yeah, I don't know if he has like, oh, I had to pit because I'm running out of fuel or something. I don't know.
I don't know. You remember we saw that in a race here at Spa, Formula One race. I think it was like the Force Indias. They did that one time, and it was like a wet to drying track, and they went across the bow of other cars and they just smashed them to bits. I think it was like maybe 2012 or 2013. I remember, what was that guy, British guy? He commentates for Formula One once in a while. Di Resta.
Oh, yeah, Paul Di Resta.
Paul Di Resta, yeah. Probably 2012, I want to say. Stuart Charles is in P26.
Oh, that's too bad on his great qualifying.
Yeah. Melvin Schmidt in P28 in his BMW.
Oh, Mike Mileski. What happened with him? Oh, I had to do a replay of Mike. Happened. He come up the Eau Rouge.
Oh, he did the same thing. He hit that little bit patch of grass on that second apex in Eau Rouge, and it upset the car. And it looks like he spun all the way up through Radeon and hit the wall.
Yeah, if you get... Oh, ouch. Oh.
Oh, yeah, that one stung. Oh, he hit once, twice.
3 times a lady.
And 3 times a lady.
Ouch. Stewart. Something happened to Stewart. Let's see if I can catch that. Oh, Stewart. Yeah, Stewart seems to be really good on qualifying, but he's really inconsistent in the race.
Yeah, he's our Jarno Trulli, isn't he?
Yep. So, I mean, it's really 2 different disciplines to be just driving and doing laps than to just push for a full lap.
Missing Don Queen today. I know this is like one of his favorite tracks.
Yeah, what's up?
Yes, I mean, we're in the middle of summer, so you know, a lot of people are on vacation. I was supposed to be on vacation. We were supposed to have gone to Maui yesterday. And, you know, huge shout out to everyone on Maui. Just an absolute disaster there. It's so upsetting seeing what's going on, and the loss of life and historical places there. And hopefully they get back on their feet reasonably quickly.
Gonna take a while to build that up.
Yeah.
Hellström coming up, Eau Rouge, doing replay on him, doing exactly the same thing. Get caught that on the left, and he almost hit someone on the in as he went into the barrier. So not a great race for him. So he's in the pits now. I think he might have just thrown in the towel. Wolfslener putting in a fast lap, 2:17.2.
Yeah, he's extending that gap to Chris Moses. Now it's 11.5 seconds.
Yeah, pretty much spread out.
Well, Steve Young is still like really trying to have a go at Craig Holmes. He just doesn't have the top speed, it doesn't seem like. He's lifting going through Eau Rouge as well, is Steve, which is surprising.
Yeah, he's up 3 positions from his start.
I'm taking note of all of his brake settings, because they're very, very different from the default settings.
All right.
Yeah, the default brake balance for the Merc is something like 61%, and he's got it sitting at 54.
One off passing Sharpenberry up to P11 now.
Randy Zimmer has been disqualified. Not sure why.
Interesting.
But yeah, he has a DSQ by his name. And I actually saw that pop up a few laps ago.
So that must mean that he went in, I mean, speeding in the pit lane. If you come out after your stop and you're on like second gear or something like that, then you get kicked out.
Yeah, or if you ignore the warnings to come in.
Oh, okay, that could be it too.
But I didn't see a warning for him though, so yeah. Yeah, Stan Steve has been really consistent. Consistency, I think, is his middle name. You know, he really won the last season through, you know, sheer consistency and some like great speed. You know, and he knew when he wasn't as fast as the guy in front, and he just consolidated his lead in the championship. And Sylvain Desart has got it all wrong going into the. Oh no! Don't hit him! Oh my goodness, he got it all wrong going into the chicane, the final chicane, and he almost hit Derek Bird going over there. I think Derek must have had like shat his pants when he saw him coming. I'm not sure what happened, whether he got on the grass or where he just.
Yeah, I'm doing a replay.
Yeah, let's see what happened there. I'm thinking maybe he got on the grass because the whole car just went completely sideways.
Oh, yeah, what happened there? Oh, he just comes across. Oh, yep. That was so close, Peter David. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he missed him by inches. Jeez.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Oh, dear. Okay. So now Derek Bird is trying to gather himself up and get his blood pressure down a little bit. He's sitting in P6 and he's like 3 seconds off of Steve Young now.
So Peter David running in P2 actually in the silver group, which is really great.
Is he really?
Yeah, so he let me see here. So Peter David won last race.
Yes,
and before that he didn't race the previous. Yeah, P2 for him in silver, that would be really great. That should push him up. in the standings a little bit, at least coming up one position.
Yeah, and then this race isn't over yet either. There's another 15 minutes still left. Which is a lot of time, you know, it's like, you know, 7 laps.
Yeah, a little lapse in concentration. Oh, and as we're saying that, Peter David is spinning out. But he's coming back on track. Let's see if he can do that without hitting anyone. Okay, nice. Nice rejoin.
Ooh.
Commentator's curse right
Big
there.
Time.
So
Big
he
time.
lost position to leader. That's unfortunate. Oh, Steve Young is really trying to make something happen there with Craig Holmes. Is this going to be the lap? Is he going to be able to reach him? They have some traffic in front of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, so this is exciting. So now he's going to be like, okay, I need to take advantage of this traffic ahead. And, you know, with these like fast, long corners with traffic, they can really get in the way. You lose a lot of time very, very quickly. It looks like the bloke ahead is getting out of the way. That's Stuart Charles getting out of the way. And the next guy in front is Mike Molesky.
Yeah, he's not going to be in any trouble.
No, he won't be in any trouble. He's going to be looking in his mirrors. And you can see Steve is really pushing it as well. He knows he needs to get really close. Blue flags flying for Mike Molesky. I'm sure he'll get out of the way after No Name here. Yes, he does. He's moving over to the left. They will go down to Puhan, and then the next guy ahead is going to be, well, actually, it's Johan Larsson, isn't it, in P3? Yeah, they're that close behind him. They really haven't dropped the top 3 guys very much. Well, the P2 and P3. They haven't dropped. Of course, we've got Peter Wolfschleiner, like, 15 seconds up the road. But these guys, they're all on a very, very similar pace. Oh, Craig has gotten it all wrong coming out there. He got really sideways. And I think that's going to give Steve a little bit of extra push going down towards Blanchimont.
If he's not doing the move here, which it's not likely he will, he has to start all over again. Oh, he gets a good line there, and Craig goes wide.
Yes, he went very wide, didn't he? Doesn't look like it. Oh, and he's gone wide onto the entry, into the bus stop. This is it now, so... A 219.2 for Craig, 219.1 for Steve, 219 flat for Derek Bird. So we saw Craig Holmes a little bit flustered in that last sector of the lap. See if he can gather it all together.
I got a good exit out here. He's actually gaining.
And he's still... I think Steve Young is running a very, very light on the... on downforce, because every lap he's lifting going through Eau Rouge, and with my experience with the Merc earlier on, I mean, every lap I was just flat through Eau Rouge. But then he is a second a lap faster than I was. So
yeah, this is really the battle on the track right now.
Hey, it's entertaining. I like this battle.
Actually, I'm going to flip over to Peter Davey. I'll see what's going on there. He's trying to reach Neil Leader. Try to gain the position back from when he was spinning out. Not getting a good exit there, though.
No, he actually ran all over that sausage, didn't he?
Looking back in the field, Stuart Charles, I mean, did such a great qualifying in the silver group, and here he is driving in P26. Has not had a good race, couple of accidents. Yeah, or not accident being with another one, but he's kind of did mistakes. Try to reach Mike Maleski. Is he gonna go on the inside or outside? Now we have the inside track coming up to the bus stop.
That last lap from Craig Holmes, a 2:18.7, and Steve 2:19.1. Derek Bird 2:19.1. So Craig he's still got mojo. He's still life in those tires, that's for sure.
Daniel Britos is contending with an Audi as well. The Audi of Brian Banks. Daniel tried to recover a little bit. He's in P22 now. Famous pit stop where he decided to make a pit stop. Oh, here's side by side. Melvin Schmidt coming through. Yeah, he's taking that position, Melvin. Mike Maleski.
Yeah, and they're going to be lapped by Peter Wolfschleiner. So Peter's looking at them thinking, how am I going to get around these guys? They're fighting like crazy.
I think it was Johan Larsson, actually. Yeah, it's Johan Larsson.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah, they have the same livery, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, easy picking there for Larsson.
Terry Trowbridge still going at it in P9. He's got Patrick Larson in front of him. Laszlo Nemeth sitting in P10, dropping away from Terry. And then you've got Mircea Paunov. He can't even see Laszlo in front of him. He's so far behind. And then Bob McSharpenberry in P12, a couple of seconds behind Mircea. And let's see. Lee Ellis, P13, but in P1 in his group. And he has a couple of cars between him, so Jeremy Arabas and Dimitri Stathis are between him and Aaron Shannon, who is in P2 in that silver group. But meanwhile, so those two guys, Jeremy Arabas and Dimitri Stathis, these guys are good friends off track as well. They're racing very, very hard for that P14. You'd think it was P1 the way they're going at it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love how the dirt accumulates on the cars too as you drive.
Yeah, I'm waiting for this next version of ACC or ACC2 or whatever, because I would assume that it's going to use the new Unreal Engine, so you'll have like some amazing effects. It's going to look night and day better than this. Richard Colomb and McClellan, it looks like they've gotten together at the top of or somewhere.
Yeah, I do replay. See if okay, Colomb is oh, ouch. Colomb just spun and got sideways and he got T-boned.
Oh, boom. Wow. Yeah, that was painful.
So he probably have a little body damage.
He's bruised. He's got a bruised body, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe in the new version they're gonna have more. I mean, if you crash, you want to have like parts and stuff just flying. That will be neat.
Well, the thing is about that is the manufacturers don't want to see their cars all beat up.
Yeah,
so that's one of the
true.
things with, Gran Turismo on the PlayStation. That's always been something that, we want to see smashed up cars. Well, the car manufacturers see these games as, advertising really, because I mean, these folks pay a lot of money to get these manufacturers involved with all of this, and the cars, they want them to look pristine. So I mean, I want to see tire smoke, I want to see fire and flames and bits flying all over the place, but hopefully it'll be really good.
Decapitated heads rolling by in the helmet.
Yikes.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about ACC2. I mean, is that a thing? Or
Yeah, I think 2024.
Really? Wow. Wow.
Peter Wolfschleiner, best lap of 1:17 flat.
Oh, that's a pretty good race pace after 23 laps. He coming up to traffic in front of him.
Yeah, he's got 3 guys ahead of him. He's got Richard Colomb, Brian Banks, and Danny Britos. He has to, well, let's see. It looks like he's got to get ahead of Danny Britos first. But he's got 22 seconds now on Chris Moses.
Unbelievable. So Dimitri looked like he was making some progress on reaching Jeremy, but he got a little wobbly. But he's pushing. Looked like he went wide there. Oh, Sky is trying to reach Craig Holmes. That's the eternal battle.
Yeah, they've got 4 minutes to resolve this battle. And actually, Craig, both of these guys, so Craig and Steve, they've caught up with Johan Larsson. Johan only has a 1.5 seconds on Craig Holmes right at this point. So, who would you be voting for, Krista, and everyone on the stream, by the way, for driver of the day? Now, I've got 2 possible candidates. I would say, obviously, Peter. He took pole position, dominant, completely dominated the race. But my other guy is Craig Holmes. I mean, he's in P4 right now. He's moved up from his starting position, but he's been under intense pressure the entire race, and hopefully no commentator's curse. But he's gone off with shit. I shouldn't have said anything, should I? God, and now as he went off and came back on, he got tagged by Steve Young. But now it's okay. I'm gonna shut up now.
Yeah,
that was classic commentator's curse. So now we're going to go down towards Eau Rouge. But yeah, he went just a little bit too deep. But he's had somebody on his tail. It's either been Derek Bird or Steve Young on his tail for the entire race, and he hasn't caved in. And he's just got to get through this lap and the one after. And either way, even if he loses this position, he's my pick for driver of the day.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad pick. It's actually gonna be his. Let's see here. Yeah, his best placement previously had been P4. So I mean, again, like we said, it's one thing to do good qualifying, and another just to keep churning out the laps. And I think really Craig had done that under, like you said, intense pressure. So. Yeah, I would agree on that. We have some votes for Peter Wolfschleiner, obviously. And in the silver group, I mean, I think Lee has been really, really solid.
Yeah, no, he's been amazing.
And Daniel Britos get pit stop of the day.
Yeah, if there's a prize for a wooden spoon, it's definitely Danny. I mean, it was an inspired moment.
Yeah. Yeah, his crew came on the radio a little bit too late and said pit.
Exactly. Yeah, it was like that pit stop that Kimi had at Silverstone a couple of years ago, where he came into the pit. They said pit, and then he's in the pit lane, and they said don't pit, and then he replied fuck. It was great. Yeah, yep. I mean, no disrespect to Danny Britos. He's a great driver, and sometimes we make mistakes. Don't look in our mirrors and make late choices, and it is what it is.
And now Craig and Johan and Steve are really close to each other. I mean,
these guys.
Just one mistake away from changing positions here. And we really only have 2 cars that's overlapping with silver at the end of the day here. Obas and Stat is...
Yeah, so Johan's last lap was a 2:19.9, so 2:20 flat basically, and Craig's was a 2:18.5, so a second and a half faster Craig was than Johan, and they have 1.2 seconds between them as they go through Lecombe for the last time. Will it be enough? I don't think it's going to be enough, but you know, we didn't really see where Johan lost all of that time, whether it was across the entire lap or whether he had like a big moment somewhere.
I think he had a moment. That's the only explanation, really.
Well, the question is, was that moment at the end of the lap, going into the last turn? Because that means we might still have a grandstand finish here.
And we haven't seen anyone receiving track cuts, drive-through or anything.
No, just Tommy.
Yeah.
Just Tommy Hellstrom.
Richard McKay, oops. He must have had a moment in the chicane.
All right, so Peter Wolfschleiner is coming down to the bus stop chicane for the final time. Makes it into the right and then the left. And he comes across the finish line to dominate this race.
He made the alien proud on his hood there.
Yep.
Very
Chris
nice.
Moses coming down to the bus stop as well, but what we want to see is Craig Holmes. Well, Craig Holmes has dropped back a little bit from Johan, and Steve Young has dropped back from Craig, so it's going to be Moses, Larson, Holmes, Young, and then Derek Bird, Sylvain Desart, and then Patrick Larson, Terry Trowbridge in P9. Great job from Terry, and Laszlo Nemeth rounding out the top 10.
That's awesome. Lee Ellis, he is trying to catch him. There is Lee. Lee Ellis, the winner of silver. And Shannon, P2 for silver. And Peter David, P3 at the end of the day for silver.
And on the last lap, Andy Driscoll got a drive-through, which is going to turn into an 80-second penalty, basically, for track limits.
Ouch. Yeah, not a good lap. Good race for him, starting in the back after a penalty. I don't think we had any big... I have a record of all the incidents for Group 1 or for first lap, but I don't think we had any big things to talk about in the stewarding. We will see. All right, here we go. So Lee Ellis is in. See if we can. I'm gonna put Lee in. There we go. And I got into my interview screen.
I'll keep an eye out for Peter and pull him in if I see him.
So Lee Ellis, congratulations to the win in the silver group.
Thank you very much. I had a pretty good race. Stayed out of trouble and was reasonably quick, I guess.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Is this a good track for you?
Yeah, I love this track.
Yeah, I think everyone likes this track. I mean,
yeah,
it's
there's nothing like it.
Yeah, it's like we said.
If you don't like this track, you're not a racing driver.
Yeah.
If you don't like this track, we can't be friends.
Because it's so fun just to drive it, and you can just you go through it and you just improve, and you try to just do your better and better every lap. There's just little things that you can improve all the time.
Yeah, I find that I'm faster here at Spa when I'm not pushing so deep into the corners. When I just let off, let off the throttle a half a second early, just coast in before you hit the brakes. I feel like if you underdrive this track, you go faster.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm gonna get up my little graphic here too, working on that. Have you seen Wolfslene yet?
Yeah, Peter is here.
Okay.
Hello. Pete.
Hello. Thank you. Congratulations, Lee.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm trying to get up. So you talk here, Jonathan. I'm trying to get my graphic up.
Yeah,
here.
you bet. All right. Well, Peter Wolfschleiner, dude, you took pole position, like dominated qualifying, dominated the race. Tell me about your race from your perspective, mate.
Actually, the race started for me lucky, let's say this way, because all by a sudden, when the qualifying started for silver, I had no sound on my headset, no sound on the PC, and suddenly the ACC crashed. So just a few minutes before, I don't know why, I never had this before, and then the qualifying was a little bit interesting because the first thing it was really slippery, and then suddenly, all by a sudden, the last 2 laps there was grip, much more grip than the other laps, and that continued from my point of view more or less also into the race. At the first stint on the tires, I don't know why, and we all on the team radio we said we had severe issues on sliding suddenly. I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed that Tommy Hellstrom had more issues than
Yes.
either you or Mr. Larson, because he got that drive through.
Tommy had he had actually nearly every lap he didn't manage Radillon on the top, and he got already a few track cuts, and also Johan, he was also fighting with the car, and I just tried to manage. And congratulations to Chris Moses and of course Johan Larsson for the podium, and Lee Ellis for the silver win.
Yeah, thanks.
Congratulations.
Yep, great race from both you, Lee, and from you, Peter. Well deserved wins. And so where are we next week, Krista?
Next
Suzuka.
week it's Suzuka, and then we're finishing off at Bathurst. So Lee, you have a kind of commanding lead now in ahead of Simmer, who did his worst result so far. So you're 258, he has 236, and Neil 188. So it's really between you and Randy, but I think you have the upper hand at the moment. And obviously, Peter, you have really the upper hand on Johan Larsson. So it's more a fight there, but P2 and P3, who's going to take that in the Platinum group. So
Yeah, Krista, you know how fast it can go by whether you have a failure on your hardware or the internet disconnect or a mistake. Even, Jonathan, that Radillon or Rouge, every lap is kind of a gambling.
Yeah,
so
it
nothing is for
is.
sure, and we need to stay focused until the end.
yeah, but Suzuka is one of my favorite tracks. I love that. So that's going to be cool to see what you guys can do.
Okay. So then, great. And hope we see you on podium.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the Porsche Cup there. All right, guys, I appreciate it. So thank you for spending the Saturday with us, and everyone on the stream. So thank you, guys. Congratulations to the podium, and thanks, Jonathan.
Yeah,
thanks,
cheers.
Chris. And
See
John,
you guys in Japan.
Yeah.
See you in Japan. Bye.
have a good day.
So thanks, everyone on the stream. Please like and subscribe and support our sponsors, Castle and Cauldron, Sim3D, and Syndeo. And we'll see you next week at Suzuka. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.